takes too long, yeah, too long. I ain't got all weekend. We had a good run, yeah, good run, but the clock is ticking. I gotta move on, yeah, move on. I got things to do, all without you. Tell me how I can make this easier, yeah, guide me. I don't want you to get too hurt, there's no need for screams or shouts or ugly words, no. I'm done with getting hate from love, you see, love, you see, love. Baby, can we kill these butterflies? They live and then they die, and that's the way I like it. I just wanna move on with my life. I've loved you for a while, and that's the way I like it. All these butterflies gotta go. I just gotta be on my own. I've been loving you for too long. All these butterflies gotta go. I just gotta be on my own. I've been loving you for too long. Too long. Move on my own. I've been loving you for too long. I know you're eager to move on with us, but you know I never do the long-term stuff, so let go and hope for better luck next time, 'cause I'm done with time-consuming love, you see. Baby, can we kill these butterflies? They live and then they die, and that's the way I like it. I just wanna move on with my life. I've loved you for a while, and that's the way I like it. All these butterflies gotta go. I just gotta be on my own. I've been loving you for too long. All these butterflies
But can they hear me, Sean? Can they hear me?
We about to find out. They can hear you.
What's,
You are live.
what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Generation Orange. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties as far as audio. I guess right now we can't hear Sean. So,
No,
but
they can
Sean's
hear
right
me
there.
now. They can hear me
Okay,
now.
okay. What's up, Sean? How you doing?
Man, I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. I'm feeling it this week.
Yeah, man, it's been one of those weeks, man. It's been one of those weeks, I guess. I'm feeling a little on the drowsy side myself, but obviously we're gonna try to be more uplifting. We got a lot of positive talk to talk about today this week. Coming off another home win, another clean sheet at home. So that's always a good look for the Dynamo, for those guys in orange. But yeah, man, before we get started, man, how's everything going on with you, Sean? I mean, obviously aside from being sleepy and all that stuff, anything new going on with you?
Same stuff. I will be out of town next week, so we will not have a show next week.
No
And
shit
then
next week.
you got stuff going on the following Thursday, so I will be solo streaming probably some Rocket League or something similar. Maybe some Minecraft. I don't know. We'll see what I'm gonna play, but yeah, that's I got work. I'm traveling next week, and I'm traveling technically to New Orleans, but I'm actually be
Okay.
working in Covington, which is just right across the Pontchartrain from New Orleans. So I may hit up New Orleans one
Nice.
night, go
There you go.
go enjoy myself, and then go into work the next morning looking like an absolute zombie because 7 a.m. comes early, 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 early.
Or just don't go to sleep and just go straight to work. You know, New Orleans has that nightlife out there where you can just go all the way through. So I mean, but yeah, man, that's a good look. I mean, obviously, if you work hard, it's good to play hard.
Sir.
So yeah, man, I'm a little bummed out that obviously the week following after that I won't be available. That week we have NFL draft going on, so I got some things going on with work and all that stuff. So you know how that goes. But that's gonna be a busy week. Well, obviously with the Dynamo coming off hopefully another win at home against Inter Miami that weekend, and that Wednesday they start Open Cup play against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. So we'll see how that goes. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's stick to this week. Sean, obviously, this past week, you weren't there. I was there with a couple people having a good time in the supporter group section. Like I mentioned prior, Dynamo coming off another win, a 3-0 win against LA Galaxy.
Yeah, LA Galaxy. Sorry, I was about to say
LA
San Jose.
Galaxy and the return of one Memo Rodriguez. Man,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
He
You know,
missed that
man,
pitch. He missed that pitch so much he had to jump to it to make sure he got a real good, face full of it.
yeah, man. Man, look, I'm not gonna lie to you, Sean. I'm surprised, but it's a good surprise. Obviously, I know that what's going on with the Galaxy and all this stuff. A lot of turmoil going on with that club right now. It's an unfortunate thing because obviously that club has done a lot for the league and all that good stuff. But with that being said, hey, if whoever can be worse than us, that's great for us, right? So, but yeah, man, a 3-0 win. Fantastic free kick goal by our captain Hector Herrera. Bassi continuing with the penalty kick streak, four games, four penalty kicks, and Sean, we had an open play goal.
I
And
know. And so I'm watching the stream of the match, and I'm watching on Apple TV, and that goal went in, and I just absolutely lost my shit. I was like, look,
yeah,
Bossy everything I've said he was going to be. He's proved it. Now we just need the rest of the team to really step up, and only really on the road because they're playing pretty good at home. But damn, I need them
look,
to do the same thing on the road.
and one Corey Bird assisted Mr. Bassi with that second goal. So
Why you got to bring that up? Why couldn't you just
look,
let
look,
that
look, look,
go?
man,
Like
look. You take him off of that number 9 role and you put him back on the wing. He plays a little bit better. All that running helps out. And actually does something for the Dynamo offense. So it might be something, a precursor to maybe something in the future going on. Maybe Bird comes out on the wing or something like that instead of him being number 9. But I don't know. Who knows? But all we can say right now is that the Dynamo are, when they play at home, they're undefeated. They haven't allowed a goal. 3 games, no goals. 3 clean sheets, so that's a fantastic news. But vice versa, obviously Dynamo are gonna Dynamo on the road. And unfortunately, we got a road game coming up this week, but we'll get to that here in a bit. But I mean, you know, obviously you said you watched it from home, Sean. Just your thoughts and opinions about the game, man. I mean, obviously it's a great victory for the Dynamo. There are 9 points in 6 games. And you know, anything else you want to add to that as far as, you know, maybe performances, or maybe call out a player or two, or who you thought really shined out this week?
Obviously, Bossy is probably my player of the match, and I think that is a fair assessment to make. But Ache, very close second. If he didn't get that red card, probably Ache's player of the match award. He was everywhere, doing everything. But a player who I think is maybe the unsung hero of our home form so far has to absolutely be Artur. I mean, they're not allowing a lot of shots on goal. They're controlling the pace of the match. They're controlling the pace of the kind of the flow of the game, the tempo of the game. And a lot of it flows through and is the result of bringing in Artur. And, you can see Ache feels more free and more comfortable to go forward when he wants. He feels more free and more comfortable to sit back a little when he wants. And same thing with Coco. Having Artur behind those two guys instead of Vera, it is a world of difference for both of them.
Yeah, no, I can't agree with you more. Artur, obviously has the size. He understands the league. He understands what Ben Olsen is asking of him, and he understands how to man that position. I believe he's been a MLS best 11 before. I'm not too sure. I have to look that up. But regardless, if he hasn't, he's playing like one this season, and we're glad to have him. Big difference once you put quality on in certain positions. Like I said, it opens up Ache to being more focused on the offense and to kind of spearhead the offensive attack. Same thing with Coco. Gives Coco a lot more freedom to go roam around and be able to be more of a creator and more of a distributor instead of having to worry about falling back and defending. So it does really well. I mean, like I said, up to these 6 games, I think our midfield has been the crowning jewel of this Dynamo team. Obviously, we're gonna go wherever our midfield takes us. So I mean, Ache, Coco, Artur. I mean, we've invested quite a bit of dough in that midfield. So I think that's our best assets as far as the team currently constructed. So, I mean, and they're showing out, like I mentioned before, Ache, great free kick to score the first goal, his second goal in the season. And then, Coco doing Coco things and making things happen on the pitch, whatever. And, like you mentioned, Artur, just being the anchor of that. Well, not the anchor, but being like the first line of defense for the Dynamo. And, obviously him and the guys in the back line deserve a lot of credit for not having allowed a goal in 270 minutes at home up to this point. So, a big round of applause to those guys, because, defense is much needed. And, obviously with the lack of defense we've had the last few seasons, I mean, it can go downhill fast when that back line loses composure and holes start appearing and attackers are able to really go into that box and create open shots for themselves. So it's great. It's great. Stanford mentions Franco Escobar, who along with Bassi were named on the MLS Team of the Week for this past week. Both guys are very deserving. A lot of crucial blocks. Yes, he's been top notch. He started off the season a little shaky, whatever, but he's obviously gaining up to form, and we're seeing the reason why Pat and Ash and those guys went after Franco Escobar. He's starting to show off why he's that championship caliber player that he's been when he was with LAFC last season and Atlanta United a couple of years ago. So I'm happy to see that as well. Obviously on the right side, on the left side for right now. It's really needed. We don't have Tate. Brad Smith still isn't available. RVD still hasn't played.
DVK. RVD is a wrestler, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry, RVD. VDK. Hasn't. I told you, man, I'm a little hazy right now.
Yeah. How much did you smoke before the show? No, I'm just kidding. Don't answer
Oh
that.
man, I wish. Hasn't debuted for the Dynamo yet, but words are he's about to start playing, and I think he's gonna play a couple games with Dino Dose, if I'm not mistaken, or has gotten some minutes. I'm not sure. Sean, maybe help me out with that. But yeah, man. You know, it's good. It's good. I appreciate the fact that we have a little bit of an atmosphere going on at home. I know a lot of things that people complain about was the fact that, look, man, fans are paying for this and this and that, and when they get there, all they're seeing is crap on the field. So, thankfully, this season, at least up to now, it's been nothing but A pluses. So, congrats to those guys. Sean, anything else you want to add to before we move on?
Yeah, I do actually. I want to give a shout out to the subs for this match, and not because I think they were the right subs, but because they played really well. I mean, Brooklyn Reigns drawing a second yellow, a red card from Douglas Costa.
Douglas.
A rookie, effectively a rookie in MLS, to be able to do that to a guy who's clearly a veteran against him. That was sound work. Definitely well done there. Caicedo, when he came in, I didn't think we lost a whole lot at all. I thought he played really well.
That guy's a big boy, man. I didn't realize he was that big.
He's got some height to him, and he's got a little bit to him.
He got some built to him. He got some built to him too.
He's strong.
Yeah.
And to fill in for a guy that we were just talking about as my kind of unsung hero of the season so far in our tour, to come in and play that role in that space in such an important stage of the game, almost, to come in and do that and play the way that he did, I can't help but make sure to give him credit for that. And again, I mean, what can you say when your team is 3-0 at home, is undefeated at home, hasn't drawn at home, and looks really, really good at home. I mean, that means everybody's doing well. I mean, that's the only way you come away. And it was 3 matches against, for the most part, pretty good teams, except for LA Galaxy. That honestly could have came in here and could have taken points off us. So, I mean, NYCFC, they're a pretty strong team, and we held them in check. In LA Galaxy, again, in my opinion, wooden spoon winners this year. I just don't see a whole lot out of that squad. I don't see any, I don't see any consistency in the way that they play. Their attack is just it's lame, which is funny because Chicha at the front is at the tip of that spear is pretty funny to watch because he's trying his hardest and he ain't getting stuff.
Yeah,
they are cooked. Yeah, I agree with Kenny. LAG.
Yeah, man, it's a tough watch, man. But wooden spoon, that means I guess that everything just went downhill. But LA and that team always have the money and always.
The only thing that's gonna be their saving grace is having Memo Rodriguez on that team, because at least he's never actually won a wooden spoon.
Yeah, there you go. Add to the trophy case. Yeah, man. Yeah, if only we could figure out the road issue. But we'll talk about that here coming up. But before we get to that, obviously, every time we have a show, we try to put a poll question up for you guys to interact and see what your space is at, what your headspace is on. And this week's question is let me put that up. 3 wins at home, 3 losses on the road. Unfortunately, this week, Dynamo are on the road. New York Red Bulls have been drawing most of their matches. Can the boys get their first win on the road? Yes, no, or we'll settle for a draw. And obviously, no, not surprisingly, 61% of you said yes. 29% said we'll settle for a draw. And 11% of you, which we're kind of thinking is probably Frisco or Austin viewers, say no. Sean, I don't know about you, but obviously road points are are necessary to make a run in the playoffs, obviously the whole home thing is great and all this stuff, and yeah, that's a great thing, but we have to be able to go on the road and show the same kind of attitude while we're there, and at least make it a match and try to come out with some points at least. I'm not asking for them to go in there and just, win, 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 win. And I mean, we're not at that level yet, but, to make it competitive, to get some draws, get some road points, it eases the pressure off the guys to have to come and perform every time at home, even though we love the fact that they're undefeated at home and they're 9 of 9 right now. But, if we're being realistic, I mean, do you think that's going to go through the whole season? I don't think so. If it does, great. But I mean, still, even if you do win all your home matches, it makes it pretty tough to make the playoffs if you're not getting any points on the road. So, Sean, I'm gonna throw it to you real quick before I put my own personal opinion about it. New York Red Bulls, the team. I mean, they're pretty stable. They're a constant contender in the Eastern Conference right now. Nothing but draws for those guys. I mean, they've won one game, they've lost another, but it's nothing but, I think, like they have like 4 or 5 draws. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and look, but I think we had a great I think the Dynamo had a great opportunity to get a win in probably San Jose, or at least get a point in San Jose. Obviously, that didn't happen. Do you think they have a better opportunity against New York at Red Bull Arena?
I mean, you'd have to think they'd have a better opportunity, but can they take it, right? Now with Ache on a suspension for the match, that changes the dynamic of this team tremendously. A lot of the attack flows through Ache when he's out on that pitch, and a lot of the weight and pressure to perform falls on him. So, it's I'm not saying it's hopeless, but I'm definitely saying that the loss of Ache is going to be a pretty big one. You're asking a kid, probably my guess is that Brooklyn is going to start in his stead. If Brooklyn comes in and plays well, that's one thing. But if he comes in and he's not able to kind of control the flow of the game, similar to how Ache does, that's going to put a lot more pressure on Coco. And we're going to put a lot of extra pressure on the wingers. And right now, unless it's Bossy, we're not really getting anything out of the other side of that on that side on the wing, on the right side on the wing. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But this feels like, honestly, this feels like a perfect opportunity to run a 4-4-2. But that's just me. I'm not coach.
Yeah. I mean, and it's a lot to ask for a rookie, and technically a rookie in Brooklyn Ranch to match up evenly with what Ache, a world class player who's played in Portugal, World Cups, Spain, to kind of give you what Ache does. So that's a tall glass to be asking for from Brooklyn. I think I'm on the same boat as you. I don't know if I run the same formation because I don't have the same type of player to cover Ache's absence. So that's my only concern, right? And then if you do decide to run the same offense, who do you have that's closest to cover Ache's output? And I would think that's Coco, but then who do you put to replace Coco? It's one of those things where you have to kind of look at things differently. I mean, obviously the coaches still have their training and have their plans in hand, and like I said, they might go with Brooklyn, they might go with Casado because Casado has been putting in a good minutes in the backup role as well. Hey, maybe give Castillo his chance. He's been doing really well with the Columbia U20s, but I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, man, a 4-4-2 would be nice. I mean, maybe depending on what you're trying to do as far as the player and the personnel you put out there. I hate to keep coming back to this, man, but since you're losing one DP due to red cards, do you bring another DP in, the one that's been sitting there, who has the type of talent to go out there and make it happen?
How much is Sebas paying you to advocate on his behalf on the show every week? I'm just curious because it sure feels like there's a little bit of something extra in your hatred for the lack of his starts.
It's not necessarily that it's Sebas, man. It's just that it could be whoever player, but I mean, but just saying you pay when you have a player of that caliber just sitting down and you know what he's capable of because you saw it last year firsthand, on a shittier version of this team. So now that you have an improved version of this team, why wouldn't it work out better, right? I mean, I'm just putting 2 and 2 together, but I mean, obviously 1 + 1 does not equal 2 in this equation. So, but just your thoughts on it. What do you think? Do you think that is there an opportunity to maybe see a Sebas start here?
I don't think so. I don't. Ben has given no indication that he trusts anything that Sebas does. He didn't even bring Sebas on the pitch in that win over LA. So that to me says a lot. That to me says a whole lot because he brought Thor on instead.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we're more likely to see Thor come in and move Bird to right wing or left wing and put Bassi on the right hand side. C says, what about a 4-5-1? I like that. I like a 4-5-1 in this case. I think, controlling the midfield and
I don't like Corey being by himself. I barely
not with Corey. Corey will be one of the two wingers out wide. It's fine. Corey will run all day. It's fine. Trust me. It's not Corey up top. That's Thor up top. That's Thor up top.
Hold on.
That's Thor up top.
But nah, you can't. Who you taking off, Bassi or Franco? I'm not taking off Franco.
Franco.
I'm taking off Bassi.
Hell no. Franco in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me? Franco sucks.
I'm not taking off Franco.
What has Franco done this entire season?
No, Franco's been
he can run. He's Corey Bird in the midfield. Come on.
Oh,
he's not great, bro. He is not great. He has done nothing.
I'm not saying he's great, but but you can see his confidence building and him getting more comfortable with the team and that acclimated. Well, like I said, Corey Bird just runs. Corey Corey'd that day.
I'm just saying, he's getting the start on Saturday, though.
Yeah.
He got an assist. How can Ben not start him on Saturday?
I know, man. I know. I'm telling you.
I'm agreeing with you, Kenny. We had that talk at the beginning of the season before the season started. We know what that purchase clause is.
Look, he's played 5 games. He started 3. I mean, yeah, he's not worth the purchase clause at this moment, but you're just 5 games in. If this guy ends up at the end of the season with double-digit assists and let's say like 8 goals,
that man better start getting some assists up in this because he ain't done shit so far.
He was supposed to link up with Sebas, but who knows? Because here's the thing with Franco. I can put the ball at Corey Bird's feet, and he's still gonna hit it wide.
I get that, but even Franco hadn't even done that, so don't even try to act like he's been giving him opportunity. He ain't done shit. Look, my problem with Franco right now is that you might as well have Memo back on the pitch. The kid cannot hold the ball. The kid has one move when he's going at a defender. He dribbles a little bit, but that's about it. But the kid just doesn't. To me, he doesn't have the tools to be a top-tier MLS player. He doesn't have the tools to be a player that we should hold on to for a long time. He doesn't have the tools to even warrant a look by somebody in another league elsewhere. Look, he just doesn't have the tools. He's not the guy. And at right wing, we need a guy. If we're going to put out Franco out there, we might as well put Nelson Quinones back out there because they're basically the same player.
We'll see. Look. I don't know. I feel like Franco's he's gonna turn out once he gets it clicking. He's gonna get turned out by me. But
I've been burned too much by past Dynamo players that were brought in that were supposed to be something.
But look, we given Corey Bird a season and a half, and we're still receiving crap, and we're still here watching it, But yet we're willing to shit more on Franco, and he's only been playing.
I'm willing to shit just as much on Corey Bird as I am on Franco. I don't think that's a question. I don't like either of them.
No. But I'm just saying, I would not. I would let Franco start on the wing over Bird.
I'm going to throw it out there. And I want you to hear me when I say this. I'm going to bet that Corey starts, but I'm going to bet that he starts at right wing this week, and I think Thor actually starts at the tip of the spear.
So they're still going with the 4-3-3?
Yeah, 4-3-3.
Okay. Yeah, well, look, Thor didn't show me too much that when he was out there. Obviously, I'll give Thor this credit. He does go out there and he hustles, and he is determined to try to go out there and score. But it's just, the same thing with Thor. Thor hasn't had the minutes. He hasn't been able to build up the chemistry with the guys. His timing's a little off. So it's just one of those things where these guys got to play, and when you're playing a player out of position over players who play that position, it's a little bit of a slap in the face, man. And It is what it is. But like I said,
Thor
look,
had the. I want to respond to this from Knight. Thor had the worst game. He had a bad game from a striker perspective, but hear me out. Hold on. It was what he was doing off the ball that made the team better and stronger for like the 5.5, 6 minutes he was out there. In all seriousness,
no. Look,
and if you're good, and well, here's the thing. Here's why I bring that up, and you'll appreciate this. But if Ben Olsen is going to give Corey Bird credit for being a fucking runner, then he better as hell give Thor, credit for being an off the ball guy where he's doing a lot of work off the ball and away from the play. Like, I think that Corey gets a lot of credit for just being a guy who goes out there and runs. Like, okay, that's great. That's cool. But I need to see you do it in a way where you're actually able to get the ball and do something. You can't do that. And so, yeah, like C says, at least Thor gives you an aerial threat. Hell, Corey can't even do that right now.
Look, like I said, look, Thor came in, and I think it's one of those things where, like, Ben Olsen obviously knows he has to give him minutes, and he's the only other striker that you have if you're not going to play Sebas.
Yep.
And obviously, he came in and he didn't really do anything. But I mean, can you blame the guy? The guy hasn't had any playing time.
And at the point that he came in, we were already up a man.
Yeah, exactly.
So he wasn't out there legitimately was not out there to control the game. He was out there simply to be an extra body to run around the pitch.
Yes, exactly. It'd be different where if Ben Olsen told him to go in and it's like, hey, we need you to go in there and create something and make something happen and score a goal, Yep. Obviously, anytime anybody comes in, their whole objective is to want to score a goal as many as you can while you're on the pitch. But with that being said, and to give a little bit of benefit of the doubt to Thor, and just because I don't want to shit on the guy, for trying to play, but he hasn't really played, up until this past game, So So I mean, we'll see what happens with that. Like I said, as the season goes on, we're gonna have to start relying on these bench players, to get a little bit more minutes and get them acclimated to the system and to have some kind of chemistry with the starters and have an understanding of where things go and capitalize on the opportunities that they have, But
I don't know if you saw this though, and I'm only going to bring this up because I think we're probably not going to bring it up otherwise. I don't know if you saw Tom Bogert today in response to, I don't remember who it was that he was chatting with, Chris Righteous maybe on Twitter, and Chris had said something about I follow you because I love you. I hope you have some Dynamo news to share with us soon. And he responded with maybe with them looky eyes. You know what I'm talking about, the looky eyes, the pair of looky eyes. And and to me, that signals that the Dynamo know that they need something else, right? And I wonder if maybe what they're working, and the reason they haven't played Sebas much, maybe they're looking to trade Sebas to another team, and they don't want him to get injured, because if Sebas gets injured and you're getting ready to trade him, he's not worth anything at that point, right? So if they're getting ready to trade him, then then him playing doesn't help your team, doesn't help your chemistry. Who are they going to get back? Well, there's a few guys out there at striker that you could either sign or you could trade for. They also have those 2 U22 spots that Kenny brought up too as well. Could call Kenny. Look, they've got mechanisms to do things.
No. That's completely understandable. Obviously trying to bring in whatever player fits into the manager's system. But my thing is, if let's say that is what is about to happen, right? You're trading away a guy who proved to you can play the number 9 position at the MLS level at least, right? And proved to you that can be a double-digit goal scorer, and you're trading him away for somebody to bring in somebody else who we don't know what is capable, depending on who it is. Like I said, I mean, this shit, they might go, if they go get Luis Suarez somehow,
then your ass is shutting up and you're going, all right, all hail Pat.
I know what that guy can do, right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying is if they, let's say they go that route and they do trade Sebas away to somebody, or they transfer him out or whatever the deal may be, and you have that open DP spot and they just bring somebody, some other unknown, right? Or maybe not an unknown, but just an unknown to us at the moment, right? Now you have to worry about an acclimation period. How long is this player gonna get used to, to get used to the team and stuff like that. It's good, but it's like, Oh yeah, dude.
Let's not forget Firmino. If it's Firmino, I'm getting a Firmino jersey before they even go on sale.
If they bring in Firmino, cool. I mean, hey Sam, I was thinking for the 13 goals last season. It was great to see you. You know, good luck with Paraguay. Hey, Firmino, what's going on? You know, yeah, obviously, but yeah, man. I mean, it's good. I guess it's a good thought in theory, but like I said, it's one of those things where you're sending somebody who's actually shown you they're capable of doing what you need them to do, and to bring in somebody who we don't know. You know?
No, I hear you, and I agree. But I mean, you know, so far through the season, it feels like Ben just doesn't, and it feels like, you know, it feels like Pat is kind of in agreement at this point. Like, and the reason I say that is there's no pressure on Ben to play Sebas. We're not hearing from Pat saying, "Oh man, he really needs to at least give Sebas minutes. The guy needs minutes." You know, Pat is willing to sit back and let Ben do Ben things, and
look, let's be honest, Sean. Let's be honest. I mean, you know, there's no pressure on Ben right now, right? Because, you know, they're winning at home. They're winning in fantastic fashion with nothing but clean sheets up to this moment. You know, and that's great. Look, like I said, look, I'm not. You and me have gone on record and said we weren't Ben Olsen fans to start off with, right? And I'm still weary of his decision making.
I'm not sold on Ben. I'm not sold.
Yeah, I'm still not. I still think he's a mediocre coach at best. But I'll give him his props up to this point. Obviously, what he has done at home and how much he has helped to improve the defense at this moment at home has shown a lot. And you know, and it's a great look. You got to start off somewhere. And if the start is, hey, being able to protect your home field and home pitch and dominate there, that's a great start, you know? And, you know, obviously the next improvement will be to start getting better on the road. So I'll give him his props for that, right? But, you know, so that's helping ease the pain, ease the questions of why Sebas isn't starting. I mean, obviously, like you, myself, you, some of the guys here on the chat, you know, we're still wondering because the thing of the matter is, this is great right now, but you know, like I mentioned last week's show, for those 5 games, we could have easily had 0 to 1 point, right? Things could have not gone our way, but thankfully things went their way. We have 9 points in 6 games, which is not too bad. But like I said, look, we're gonna take this season by pieces. The first 5 games, okay, cool, okay, we did okay. The next 5 games. Let's see how we go. We're starting off with a win. Great. It's a great start to the next 5. And then after that, you know, you gotta take the season in by pieces. You can't just take it all in at once. But you know, with that being said, at this point, you know, there's no reason for him to feel any pressure. You know, he's dominating at home, is 100% at home. The game against San Jose was a little shaky. It could have been a winnable game. Could have been a road game where they could have got a point. The opening game against Cincinnati could have been a game where they could have got a point on the road. The only match that was really out of hand was the New England match. So I mean, you know, 5 games out of 6 where they were in the games or won the games. That's not too bad. So round of applause for Ben Olsen and that coach staff at this moment.
I think we've only played 5 matches. I don't think we've played 6 yet.
Yeah, 3-3 because 3 was.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. 3-3. Yeah. Yep. I think the next big piece starts after LAFC away. They leave a soft portion. They have a soft portion of the schedule after that.
But that's the thing. Look,
let's talk real quick. Hold on, I like that because let's talk about the LAFC stretch right there because we were talking about this before the show. We were looking at the schedule, right? We have Open Cup, so we go to Miami. No, we have Miami here at home. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Then on Wednesday after that, we got to fly to Tampa for Open Cup and play Open Cup in Tampa. And then that Saturday, immediately after that Wednesday, we got to fly our asses out to LA and play in LA against LAFC. There ain't no way in hell with the way this team is playing right now on the road that we're taking anything out of LAFC after all that. I'm just being real with y'all. Like, I'm considering that match. I'm considering that a 0-point match. If we pull out a point in that match, hell yeah, boys, well done. But look,
that's LAFC. That's the reigning MLS Cup champion. That's the top echelon, right?
But it's not just the MLS Cup champion. It's not just they're playing in CCL. Okay, whatever. They're still gonna they're still better than us right now. Let's be real. But it's not even that, right? It's not even how good they are. It's the fact that we're coming off a trip where we're flying all the way out to Tampa and then flying to LA in like a 2-day stretch. That's basically a 2-day stretch. That's damn tiring. And I'm sure LAFC are playing at home in that CCL match. They're not playing on the road.
It can be, but and also, I mean, if depending on what players Ben is deciding to play in that Open Cup match, he can leave the other players back at home to rest up or train.
Let me ask you a question, though. Let me ask you a question. If he trots out a bunch of Dynamo Dos players or a bunch of guys that haven't been playing and they go out there and they drop a goose egg and we're out of Open Cup, that's a major problem for me right now. This team needs an Open Cup run. We're not good enough to compete for MLS Cup, so we need an Open Cup run.
Well, look, I mean, look, okay, so like the opening rounds of Open Cup play, throughout history of our Dynamo have usually been the third and fourth round have basically been a mix of, well, at that time, Dynamo Academy players or RGV players and up and coming players, right? So, I mean, it shouldn't. I don't think it's going to be anything different. I mean, we're playing the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Look, with all the respect to Tampa Bay Rowdies, I'm not even too sure what their USL record was or what it is this season or if they even started USL play. With all the respect, I don't keep up with Tampa Bay Rowdies soccer. But with that being said, I mean, at the end of the day, you have that's the whole point of this Dino Dos team. I mean, there's supposed to be players who are on the verge or on the cusp or ready for the first team. They just don't have a spot for that player. So I mean, so regardless if it is a whole team of Dino Dos players sprinkled in with a couple of Dynamo bench players, they should be able to take care of the Tampa Bay Rowdy. Now, with that being said, with all to give respect back to USL and those USL teams have been given their all to this competition the last couple of years, and we've seen a lot of them go deep into these competitions, right? And that's an applause to those teams in that league for putting a focus and an emphasis on that team, because it's just showing us as the casual viewer of that team, because that's the only time we're realistically ever going to see that team. That hey, the league below us actually has some talent, and they're out here doing their thing. So
let me educate you a little bit on the Tampa Bay Rowdies. 2022, 20 wins, 7 draws, 7 losses. They play in the USL Championship in the Eastern Conference. I don't know if you knew that, but now you do. They had a 73 goals for and 33 goals against average of a goal differential of plus 40 goals.
Nice.
They're not a cakewalk, brother.
No.
And I know you're not. I know you weren't going there, but I'm just saying, if this team, here's what I'm saying. If we go into that match and all we play is a bunch of scrubs, and I'm sorry, Donna Dos, but right now you being called a bunch of scrubs. If we go in and Ben is like, you know what, it's Open Cup, he's going to do it just like Dom Kinnear didn't give a rat's ass about it, we're just going to play our scrubs, then why do we even bother playing the damn match? Why do we even bother like traveling guys out there? Because we have to?
It's minutes. But like I said, but like we mentioned before the show, I mean, there's players on the bench that haven't played. Sebas, who
if he's still with us.
I mean, he should be still with us by the time. I mean, look, Sebas is
never say never.
Is a player that needs minutes. Thor is another player that needs minutes. Keonis is another player who needs minutes.
So now you're going to throw a bunch of cold players out there that haven't played any minutes or have played sparing minutes, and you're expecting them to step up and play against a team that was top 3 in their conference last year. Again, not MLS play, but the top 4 teams in USL Championship, they would have fought strong against some of the worst teams in MLS. We were one of them. Hello.
But look, then who won the championship last year?
I think Louisville did last year. Is that right? Somebody correct me. San Antonio won it. Louisville were first in the East. You're right.
Yeah. So I mean, and didn't we dust San Antonio? Well, we didn't dust them, but I mean, didn't we beat them in USL and US Open Cup play with like Memo Rodriguez?
I think we won 1-0. I don't think we dusted them.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like even though, I mean, look, like I said, no disrespect to the USL. I seen these teams come out of nowhere and beat MLS clubs in this competition, and they focus on this competition because of the money tied to this competition, because it makes a difference for their league as opposed to the MLS, right? But with and like I'm saying, it's it's a competitive game. It's going to be competition, and the USL team is always going to do their best and their darndest to make sure that they can come out with the win, especially against a MLS squad. But with that being said, I don't know what their intentions are with US Open Cup play, because you have to think about it. Yes, now we have Leagues Cup again coming up, which is another competition, competition that we have to deal with. The LAFC match in LA, I mean, I'm never gonna be one where we can't say that, hey, never, any given Sunday. Well, in this case, I guess any given Saturday, right? A team can beat another team, but
sure. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that either.
But what I'm saying is, look, if you're telling me to focus on a U.S. Open Cup match or a match against LAFC on Saturday, me as a coach, I might focus a little bit on the U.S. Open Cup match and just look, the LAFC match. If we happen to do something with it, cool. If we happen to not do it, then nobody expected anything from us against LAFC at LAFC, right? So I mean, and at least if you win your U.S. Open Cup match, you move on to the next round, and you're still available in that competition.
Exactly.
But with that being said, again, that competition, you are playing lower tier talent, and you're expected to kind of give those minutes to the players who haven't been not given opportunity to play, and your league matches. So it would be great to see guys out there that haven't had as much playing time as you would like them to have, and then for the LAFC match, maybe have your top players available if that's possible. Like I said, who knows? I don't know what Tampa Bay looks like at this moment. I know obviously you told me what they did last season, but teams change season after season.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think they're one win, 2 draws and 3 losses, or maybe it's 2 losses and 3 draws.
Let me read what Kenny said here. Kenny said, shout out to Kenny, man. He's been real active on the chat. I'd rather leave an Open Cup play to chance and have a puncher's chance at a draw at LAFC. But it's one of those things. Like I said, what's the priority here? Realistically speaking, if I poll everybody here on, do you think we can manage a point from LAFC? People are more likely going to be like, nah, I think we're going to lose that match, right? But
if they're honest,
if they're being honest, right?
Yeah,
but I mean, look, but if we win Open Cup, we move on to the next round. That gives us availability to compete in another competition, have minutes available for our players on the bench who don't play in that many league minutes. And, if we happen to get a point at LAFC, okay, we get a point at LAFC, but we no longer have these extra matches to play. We no longer have an opportunity at a trophy over here.
Yep.
So,
well, and here's the thing, right? So, okay, we get the draw at LAFC. Well, what does that matter if at the end of the season we still don't make playoffs? Cool, we got a point at LAFC. Yay! Like, what does that matter? You have Open Cup in front of you. This is what I'm saying. You got Open Cup in front of you with the current shortest path to silverware. The current shortest path to get you into CCL.
Yes. That's the point. You see, this is the caveat about the U.S. Open Cup. The U.S. Open Cup trophy that's great. Silverware is always great to
It ain't even about the money you get from it, because it ain't that much money.
Exactly.
It's getting into CCL that's worth it.
The thing here is the ticket it gives you to CCL. That's the big prize, realistically.
Yep.
Because like I've mentioned prior seasons, beforehand, whatever, this team not only needs financial backing, which they're starting to get, but they need exposure. They need global exposure.
Yep.
So people know who the hell we are, and things like that. We need to see the Dynamo paired up against top tier Mexican competition or other teams from other CONCACAF countries. We need to see them paired up against those teams, Yeah, it's great to see them play against, San Antonio FC, El Paso Locomotives, whatever, and then make it to a Open Cup final against whatever MLS team that's still there. Great, yeah, that's fine. But we need to see them against top tier competition, international competition. But we're not going to go too much into that. That's getting off topic. But yeah, so we're going against New York Red Bulls this weekend, Sean. a road game, and like I mentioned, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I'm going in as confidently as I was going into the San Jose match, because I to be honest, I honestly thought, look, if the Dynamo are going to win a match on the road, it was going to be that San Jose game. And the way that game played out, that game was so horribly played. I can't for the life of me, I could not understand how the Dynamo could not take advantage of so many mistakes that San Jose were giving up. And with all due respect, that Dynamo were giving those same mistakes back to San Jose. But with that being said, they lost. Now, do I think that the Dynamo are going to get at least a point against the Red Bulls with no Ache Ache? I don't know. I don't think so. It doesn't look good. What are your thoughts?
I got a streak going. The reverse jinx is alive and well. So for the hell of it, I'm gonna say 3-0 New York Red Bulls, just to see if my jinx works. I genuinely, though, I'm gonna be honest with you, I genuinely think New York could absolutely surprise us. I mean, sometimes getting a guy out of the locker room for a few weeks is what a team needs. And sure, their form has been piss poor so far, but not great. I shouldn't say piss poor. I mean, they're getting draws. That's in just about every match. I mean, that's pretty solid. But they're defensively, they're pretty strong. They're still allowing a goal here or there, but they're defensively pretty strong. So I think that we're in for a very long, very tough, very tight match. I think this is going to be a physical match. I think this is going to be a well-played match with both teams wanting to control possession, wanting to control the flow of the game. And to me, that just doesn't spell success for the Dynamo, because unless we get a PK call and Mr. Bossy comes up to kick that in the net, we ain't got a puncher's chance in hell.
PK Master. But yeah, man, I'm agreeing with you, man. I feel like this match, the Red Bulls are like not really in their best form right now, but even with that being said, they're still collecting points, which is very important, because once they get their rhythm together and they get their players back or whatever they need to do to improve their team, they're gonna start collecting points, man. And that's the difference between a horrible team and a decent team. And a decent team, when they're low, they still collect points. A horrible team, they can be shitty, but they're still going to be shitty. They're not going to collect any points. But with that being said, yeah, I think it's going to be a tough physical game. Obviously, whoever scores first, I think wins the game. I would hope for a draw, at least a 1-1 draw. But man, I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. I gotta see something from somebody other than Ache Ache, because Ache Ache he's been showing out, man. I'm really impressed with his gameplay, because I know a lot of people, because of how the season ended last year and how he wasn't really with the team and how he wasn't really on the pitch. We're getting a sour taste left on his mouth and on our mouths, especially with what we're paying him. But now he's showing out, man. He's showing that he was for real. He wants to be here. He wants to be that captain. He wants to be that leader, and he wants to take this team to the top. So, we'll see what it is. I'm going to go 1-0 Red Bulls.
Over, under, Eva wants to know, over, under on VAR penalty check.
For the Red Bulls or against the Red Bulls?
Against the Red Bulls.
So that means a fifth game for PK Master Ami Bassi. And I don't know. Man, that's so.
I'm gonna put the line at 0.5. The line is at 0.5.
It's so weird to me, man, to see the Dynamo get these many penalty calls. I think what we had, like 4 penalty calls this season in 6 games.
4, yeah.
Dude, I feel like we've had 4 penalty calls in the last 5 years.
Yeah, well, so the question isn't penalty calls. It is a VAR penalty check. So that's even going above and beyond just straight up the ref calls it on the pitch.
Yeah, man. I mean, who knows? I never go into a game trying to expecting for the ref or the VAR to help us out. So I mean, I'm gonna go under 0.5 if that's what your line is. Yeah, I mean, the fact that we've gone 4 straight games with a penalty call, that's amazing in itself. To go a 5th one, that would be whatever. But I'm not going to this game, expecting any kind of help as far as a penalty check or a penalty call or anything like that. I hope the Dynamo have a great match. They have possession of the ball, and I hope that they're able to capitalize on the opportunities that they have to score the ball. Because at the end of the day, this is one of the things that I worry about this team is the open play game. Obviously set pieces, they look great. Penalty kick, obviously Bossy is a beast. But as far as open play goes, I mean, there's only been 2 of them, and that's a very light amount for 6 games played already.
And let's be real, our set piece taker in terms of medium range shots and corner kicks, he's not available. He's on a red card. So that's not to say that there aren't guys that can't take those opportunities. But it is to say that he's the guy that you've established is the man on the team, and he's not going to be there. So, Evil says prediction 1-1 draw. I think that's a fair result.
I'll take that in a heartbeat. I
was one of those that said I would take a draw. I'm not expecting to win for sure. I think we're better. Better. We would be deserving of a draw. We should be deserving of a draw in terms of talent. But the boys got to go out there and they got to play and show it.
What's going to be interesting is, look, obviously we know that we don't have another player with the same qualities or capabilities of Hector Herrera, right? But this is one match, I mean, and you're going in with a lot of confidence, feeling good, seeing the atmosphere at home, seeing the smiles and happiness and your fans. At some point you want to create some kind of streak,
momentum.
And momentum, there you go. And with that being said, these players, they're professional players. They don't want the Dynamos to just be known for Ache.
No.
They want to be a part of this too. They want to come out and show out as well. So this is a perfect game for maybe a Coco to come show out what he's doing, show out what he's gone, to maybe play a little bit, to play up to a little bit of a higher level than what he usually does. Same thing with Abassi, even though he's playing out of his mind right now, if he can take it up another notch, that's fantastic. Franco, maybe this is the game he gets out of that shell and he finally impresses Sean Ringrose to the point where he's on the verge of buying himself a Franco number 7 jersey.
Oh, that's never happening. That man could score a fucking hat trick this week and it wouldn't change a damn thing. Okay.
But but regardless, I mean, it would just take a collective team to just to up their play a little bit, just to cover what they're missing from Hector Herrera as an individual. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, the team can't just be about one player, So
even if he's the best player on the team.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look.
Look, don't tell that to Barcelona in them Messi years, okay?
Yeah, I mean, look. You lose a Messi, you lose a Cristiano Ronaldo, you lose one of those. I mean, it hurts, but I mean, you still got to go out there and play your game.
Yeah, Yeah, for sure.
Anything else you want to add to this, Sean, before we move on to anything else?
I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything right now.
Red Bulls. I could go for
I don't care about Red Bulls. I don't care about Red Bulls. I care more about the Dynamo and how they approach this match and how they play. I will say, we haven't talked about it too much, but that loss of Tate Schmidt with that ACL, that hurts, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Tate Schmidt. I mean, look, man, the guy basically signed like the day before the season started. He came in, scored the first goal of the season.
And he took that damn position by the throat.
He's one of those guys that and you need these type of guys on the squad, like Griffin Dorsey for us last year, where an opportunity is presented. And this guy's gonna do his everything up to whatever amount of talent that he has in his body to go out there and not lose it and to take advantage of this opportunity. And that's what he did, man. He came in, he covered for Brad Smith and for VDK and those guys who were signed to kind of man down that position. And unfortunately for him, he got hurt. So shout out to him. Hopefully this it's not that long of a what did he say? It was an ACL, right? So yeah, it's pretty much out for the season. So hopefully the recovery goes well, and he's able to come back. I don't know if he'll be with us, but I mean, hopefully he's able to come back and do his thing for his career and in the future. But yeah, man, unfortunate, but that's
Did he tear
that's
both his ACL and his MCL? Because if he tore both, that man ain't back till next season at the minimum.
yeah. So
Like at the earliest, like that.
I just saw I saw ACL, man. I didn't hear anything.
That's
about
what I
the
heard.
MCL.
I ain't heard nothing about the MCL, but that's what I'm saying. If it's both, oh boy.
Yeah, so shout out to him, and hopefully his recovery goes well. But yeah, man, aside from me actually needing a Red Bull, I mean, I don't have anything else to talk about as far as this match.
We got one thing. We haven't talked about it yet. We got to talk about it just real quick. Good, like closing subject. The Houston Dash played the Mexican women's national team this past weekend, lost 5-1.
Ooh, but that one goal
was a screamer. Let's go. I think her name is Jordan. Let's go, Jordan. Damn good shot. Damn good shot.
But I mean,
go ahead.
Oh yeah. I mean, I watched a little bit of highlights. I didn't watch the game on TUDN. But yeah, man. I mean, obviously not having Maria Sanchez and Diana Ordonez is a tough deal. But obviously they showed out for the Mexican national team, and it just shows the quality of players that we have now. And it's a great thing, and I'm excited for the Dash here. And once they get their everybody on the squad and they get the season rolling and going, man, because I think it's going to be a really, really, really special season for these girls, and I can't wait. Excuse me, I can't wait.
This team is. I was going to say this team is well built, man. The 5-1 doesn't. It is a poor reflection of the team, I think, and it was a friendly, and it was against the national team versus an actual league or club team. And
they have two of your top players.
Three of them, not their top players, but three of their players were, with the women's national team. So, yeah, certainly. And Sam Lady is doing a great job. All credit to him as coach. I think he's figuring some things out as he goes along in terms of personnel, in terms of some positions and things like that. But he's doing a good job. The team looked very good this season, and they're well poised to be a very dominant team in the league. And to put some other teams under pressure that have normally been the dominant teams. So we'll see how it all ends up. As I always say, anything can happen, but I feel pretty good about the team that is there and the team that we have. And I'm gonna say it like I always say it. These ladies deserve you going out. This is you to everybody who's watching. Deserve you going out and watching a match or two this season, maybe an entire season if you can afford and you can do it. But at least get out to a match or two, support them, show them they're supported. Trust me, to a person, they appreciate it 100%.
Yeah, I think they open up Challenge Cup play here next, and it's a 7-on-3 game. So, I mean, $7 tickets. Always a great opportunity to grab one of those and, go out there, check out the game. And obviously with all the great amenities that you have now at Shell Energy Stadium, it's a great look out there. And, obviously you get to support a hell of a team that just came off their first playoff appearance last season, so they're just trying to build off momentum off that and do better this season, which I think they will. But yeah, shout out to Dash.
That's it, man. That's the show. We're gonna end it right there. Shout out to Dash. No, thanks for joining us, guys. We definitely appreciate it. It's only an hour this week because we're both tired and I'm honestly a little hungry. But like I said, no show next week. No show Thursday. No show next week. But I will be back in 2 weeks, so make sure you tune in on the 27th. Yeah, the 27th. Make sure you tune on the 27th. Don't worry, I will have a second screen up, at least talking about the draft, NFL draft. Maybe the Texans will actually do something smart. We'll see. Probably not, but we'll see. But thanks, guys, for joining us again. We do appreciate it. And as always, guys, hold it down. Throw up them H's.